What's up, guys? Welcome back to the next video. Today we're doing BiS on Arms Warrior. Now, quick caveat, I know that there's some movement happening about the potential of Kebab coming back in Wrath, a dual-wield arms build that could potentially do a little bit more than the typical traditional two-hand arms, especially early. I'm not going to focus on that. That's not my area of expertise. We're going to focus on traditional arms, getting optimized BiS for that, as I believe that's going to likely still be the meta. Moving forward into Classic Wrath. So without any delay, let's get right into it. First things first, we always go to the talents. These are the talents that you want to be running early on as arms. There's no need to get into the nitty gritty. This is not an arms guide by any means, but one thing I do want to point out is Glyph of Cleaving. Of course, we're swapping this out if we're cleaving with Glyph of Heroic Strike. If we're single target, we go Heroic Strike, of course. But this is pretty standard, good to go arms for early, especially the first couple phases. Now, for our BiS list, we are going with Spike Titan Steelhelm. Just like with any plate DPS, this is one of your biggest pieces pre-raid. For neck, we're going with the Emblem of Heroism neck. No surprise here. There are a couple other necks in case you wanted to swap out. You could go for Titanium Impact Choker if you wanted to just purchase that right off the jump and didn't want to spend any time farming up Emblem of Heroism. And also, shout out to Gold Amulet of Kings being decent. And even Amulet of the Stampede is not too bad. But by far your best is definitely the Emblem of Heroism neck. For shoulders, we're going with Pauldrons of the Berserking from Sunwell. Just like with all the other plate DPS BiS lists, we're going to be using these. They're just far too good to pass up on. If you can get your hands on them, definitely use them. I will give a shout out to Demon Tooth also being pretty solid as well. But if you're not able to get any Sunwell gear, our recommendation is to go for Spalders of the Giant Lords, the crit strength shoulders from Revered Sons of Hodir. Your best cloak is obviously your Cloak of Bloodied Waters. Nothing comes even close. This cloak is ridiculously strong. Your best chest is going to be the tier chest. You get this from Emblem of Heroism, so just farm it up and get it. Wrists are for sure going to be Vengeance Binding. Again, crafted wrist piece from Blacksmith. Very affordable, very cheap, and very, very good. Your best weapon is going to be Colossal Skullclad Cleaver. In Wrath, axe specialization is really important and really good, so we try to stay with axes or polearms. If you're unable to get this for some reason, you could always potentially use the Salvia Corroded Pike from Violet Hold, although this one is very rare to obtain. Those are going to be my two recommendations. However, a big shout out to Titan Steel Destroyer, as it is phenomenal for arms. If you had to go Mace Spec, it's very good and it brings a good amount of hit, although it is not preferred. Your tier gloves are going to be your best gloves. That's a lot of expertise and a lot of hit. These are really, really valuable, and you honestly should be prioritized for tier gloves eventually. Even though they aren't your BiS, they're just really important to have. Your belt is actually going to be this tier belt coming from 40 Emblems of Heroism. Great belt here. It's leather. We're going with the plate DPS legs from Heroic Utgard Keep with a whopping 80 hit. This makes up a vast majority of your hit. For boots, we're going with Death-Inured Sabatons, and also, of course, a quick little shout out to the Obliterator Greaves coming from Violet Hold, although these are very rare to obtain. Now, rings are definitely interesting to say the least. There's a lot of ring options you could go with. With this setup, this is what I recommend as your true BiS, the Ring of the Kirin Tor Strength Expertise one, and your Hemorrhaging Circle. However, I will give a massive shout out to Ring of the Scarlet Shadows being a phenomenal ring, and it's pretty affordable to obtain. If you want to get this, gives you a good amount of hit, attack power, and crit with a socket, as well as Morbius Band being decent if you need hit from another option. Oh, and of course the Jewel Crafting Ring being pretty solid choice. However, just keep in mind early on in Wrath, Armor Pin is not very valuable on Warriors. It's just doesn't work out to be very good. So we're trying to focus on what matters most, which is our hit caps and stacking as much strength as we can. For trinkets, we obviously have to pick up our Darkman Card Greatness, and the best next trinket is going to be our Mirror of Truth. Do not be baited at all by Incisor Fragment. Again, like I said before, Armor Pin is not going to be that great for Warrior early on, and this trinket has baited a lot of Warrior players in the past. Do not fall prey to this really, really crappy trinket. For your ranged weapon, you should probably go with the Utgard Keep crossbow, although I will give a shout out to Nessingwary 4K. This engineering BOE gun is actually pretty solid, and the two are basically comparable. Now, let's go with the Phase 1 BiS setup. So, as you can see, we're running with the 4-piece T7. 4-piece T7 is ridiculously good. Your bleed periodic effects have a chance to make your next ability cost 5 less rage. This is very, very good, and you can proc this effect while cleaving, which makes it even better for cleave fights. So we will be optimizing for a 4-piece T7 setup, and you should even remember to hold on to your tier moving into Ulduar, as for cleave fights, the 4-piece T7 is even still going to be your BiS for cleave fights. So hang on to this stuff. It's very important. However, there's a caveat that a lot of the plate off pieces are really attractive for Warrior. You could get a really, really good set that you might want to have some extra pieces laying around for, especially when you get upgrades moving into Ulduar. So there's a bunch of gear to acquire as a Warrior, and you might want to hang on to all these little pieces here and there in case you need to swap some things around. You never know. But this is going to be your BiS perfect setup. Moving forward, so we're obviously getting the Steelhelm, but a shout out to Obsidian Great Helm, as it has a lot of strength, a lot of expertise. This helm is incredible, but we're still going to go with the tier because we want the 4-piece. Neck from EOE, the Saffron quest neck is your clear best in slot. You should be decently high up on the priority list. The only reason a Warrior is not obtaining this is because your guild is choosing to funnel Warlocks first and a Feral Druid first, potentially. But after all the meta DPS classes have gotten it, maybe you can get the next one. We're going with tier shoulders. These are very easy to obtain, just emblems. For cloak, we're going with Aged Winter Cloak, being very good. Although Drape of the Deadly Foe is decent, we will go with Aged Winter Cloak. We're going to go with tier chest. We're going to go with Wristbands of the Sentinel Huntress. Now, these are BOE. You can obtain them from Emblems of Valor, or you can just purchase them from somebody. These are very good. Crit expertise, which we definitely like to have. Although a shout out to Bracers of Unrelenting Attack. If you are able to get your hands on these, they might help you out with replacing some other items along the way, because it gives you a good amount of hit. We're going with Betrayer of Humanity as our best in slot two-hander, of course, nothing else. And our BiS off-piece is coming from Frosted Android Handguards, although I will give a shout out to Crude Discolored Battle Grips being a solid other choice. Also, you're definitely going to want to get your hands on the tier gloves like we talked about. That is a lot of expertise and a lot of hit, especially if you get like a really big upgrade. Say like the armor pin legs from Yogg and Ulduar. You're going to want to equip those armor pin legs and then throw on these gloves so that you maintain your 4-piece from T7. So make sure that you find a way to get your hands on the tier gloves, even if they are going to be your off-piece item. For BiS belt, we're going with Girdle of Vesuvius, the crit expertise belt. For legs, we're going with tier legs, of course. Boots, we're going with Melancholy Sabatons. You actually will likely be prioritized for this over anyone else in the raid. So that is really good for you. Congrats on that. Rings are interesting. So the best ring setup we're going here for, at least human, is with Great Ring of Collision plus Ruthlessness. Although I will give a huge, massive shout out to Surge Needle Ring. This is a really, really good ring. It's BOE coming from EOE 10 and has a good amount of hit on it, 32 hit to be exact. This is great, and you'll see why later. Our best trinkets are, of course, Greatness and Grim Toll, no surprise here. And then our ranged weapon that we want to go with is Spinning Fate. Now, we don't need a whole lot of hit as arms. I believe as human or as alliance with Journey buff, you only need 230, and you need about 264, if I remember off the top of my head, for Horde. So you need to be able to play around with that. So for Horde, maybe you want to go something like this. Swap out Spinning Fate for Envoy, and maybe go for Surge Needle Ring or something like that. So, or Surge Needle Ring here. I mean, there's a lot of room to mix and match these items if you needed to optimize based on whatever hit situation that you might have. So just keep that in mind. Although, oh man, I lost it now. This is the BiS setup that I would recommend running. That's it. I'm going to try to keep this one short. I feel like I've been rambling and running on for a whole lot on a lot of these videos. So thanks guys so much for watching. Seriously, I only do this for y'all. Your support and your kind words in the comments push me to make my next videos. So I'm really thankful for you guys, and I'm enjoying putting out these BiS videos. If you like this and you want to see more BiS videos, please just subscribe. I do other videos as well, but this is just the next project that I've been working on. And I really, thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions or concerns about Arms Warrior BiS, or if you have any places that you think I got it wrong, or any areas of debate, please just comment down below and let me know. All right, thanks guys. Peace.